Alright, hey everybody, one of Weezem here. Sunday, July 21st, 2013. It's pretty much dead on 5 a.m. Computer slowed down real bad. I had to re-render the results video, and then it took me the rest of the time. I actually had to map out how exactly to stack this. It doesn't really flow well. Like when we did Castaways versus Newlanders, true matchups, we had 8 matches, so it went really easy. Just basically move everybody down a slot each time, keeping the air element constant. You can't do that with an odd number, and for what it's worth, I've mapped it all out. I think we're good to go. That's just my reference for the future. But the way this works, this is the Castaways versus Newlanders Series if you're new to it. We started out, we did basically Warnado going up against Jet-Vac on down the line with the remainder of the Newlanders, and that essentially constituted 8 matches. Perfect record would be 8-0, which you can see with Camo. Winless would be 0-8, which you can see with Chill. And instead of populating a tournament bracket at that point, I thought it would be nice, particularly we had so many ties, go ahead and do Castaways versus Castaways, Newlanders versus Newlanders. This is essentially what I'm calling Stage 2, and this will be Round 3. The way this works, you go to the blog, oneofweezem.com, on the right-hand side, just below the Twitter feed. That'll be that box right here with, the Twitter information, which, by the way, is a great way to keep up with things. Come in right below there, you'll see, in this round 3, you'll see Warnado versus Camo, and then the last match you see will be Sprocket versus Chill. You come in, you select your favorite character, hit vote, and repeat the process on down through the line. And what I want you to do, don't just say, okay, well, Camo would slaughter Warnado in battle mode, we'll say. I want you to consider that, but I want you to also say, but I liked Warnado better as a character, but then I like Camo's pose slightly better than Warnado's, yada yada. Basically factor in everything. The pose, voice acting, how well you like their upgrades, how well you like them in the game, what you think of their powers, Soul Gem or WoW Power where applicable. Everything along those lines, just take that into account and essentially combine it all. Decree your personal favorite character in each matchup. Tell your friends about it. Pull for your favorites. Try to get as many people involved. If you're a huge Camo fan, you'll want to tell your friends that are Camo fans, hey, go vote for him. Don't want him to lose to Warnado. Similarly, if you're a huge Boomer fan and you're trying to get him and Sprocket, we'll say she's one of your favorites. You want to spread the word. Tell other Sprocket fans, hey, we need your help to beat Chill, etc. And vice versa. On the flip side, you'd have the Wham-Shell and Chill factions hopefully doing the same. Gets a lot of people involved. This is another outlet. Again, the reason I don't record this for you, there's no single-player battle mode option, which I really wish there was. As such, I would have to play myself every time, and I would win each battle. It would just be whether I defeated myself or myself defeated I, and that's not really fun to watch, so this is kind of interactive, gets everyone involved. In the comments section, leave what you think is the marquee matchup, what you think the results will be, who you want to win, what you're upset about from last time, matches you're looking forward to, all that stuff. Bottom line, we do this to have fun, so there's a background if you're new to it. That said, this is Stage 2, Round 3. Gonna go ahead and get started on the Castaway side of the bracket. Get Sunburn situated back there. What we have coming in this round is Warnado, who comes in at 5-3 and 1-1 in the Newland or the Castaway bracket. On the flip side, we have the absolute behemoth juggernaut Camo. He comes in undefeated against the Newlanders, 8-0, undefeated against his fellow Castaways, 2-0. Very interesting matchup. I was in Toys R Us Friday, picked up a second Series 2 Drobot, some new Beyblades, looking for variants and whatnot. They had quite a few of the, Camo, Igniter, Warnado triple packs. One of the best triple packs to date, in my opinion. So these two have been linked together for quite some time. Again, Warnado was personally the one I anticipated the most in SSA. By that I mean the game poster came out with a starter pack, and I looked at the characters and I said, wow, I can't wait for Warnado. Both of these guys have pretty good fan bases. They've stayed true to them, even though they're Castaways, hadn't seen them in a while. So basically, come in, factor in every facet of the game, the minute details, the easy to recognize stuff, your personal takes. Pick your favorite, cast a vote. I haven't really researched this one to see what I think. This is a great matchup, though. I think it should be tight. I think I know the way everyone will go. May not necessarily be what I do. I'll reveal my thoughts after I reveal how you voted. But great matchup here. 1-1 Warnado versus 2-0 Camo. Our second matchup. This one could actually be interesting as well. There's been times Voodoo's had quite a little voting faction here. Sunburn, however, comes in 6-2 against the Newlanders, 1-1 overall here in the Castaway bracket. Voodoo came in fairly respectable, 3-5, not doing so hot against his fellow Castaways, 0-2. Again, same drill, pick your favorite. When I say this one could be interesting, I'll leave it that out of the Castaway side, I would have to say this one, I'm thinking, at least based on how I think you all will vote, will probably have the widest disparity. I'll leave it at that. But again, Sunburn versus Voodoo. Our next matchup, and this one is going to be very intense. I think I know how everyone will take it. We've got Ghost Roaster, the ghost with the most. He spooks in with a mark of 7-1 against the Newlanders, currently undefeated at 2-0 against his fellow Castaways. Dino-Rang, Wooly Bully comes in here. He has a mark 5-3 against the Newlanders, currently winless, 0-2 against his fellow Castaways. They've both been close losses. You know the drill, pain chain, if you will. Vote for your favorite one. I think this one should be pretty close. Again, all the Castaway matchups, pretty much every time, they're all going to be good. I think Camo Warnado will be the... I think it'll be the tightest. I think the biggest margin will be Voodoo and Sunburn. I think this will be the second tightest. It's really going to come down to who's active on the blog at this point and voting. But should be a great matchup. Again, these are two of my personal favorites, so tough one for me there. Our final Castaway matchup will be everyone's favorite and only troll in the game right now, Boomer from the Tech Element. He comes in with a very respectable mark of 5-3, currently 1-1, sitting 500 against his fellow Castaways. He is, of course, going up against Wham-Shell, the crustacean sensation. He comes in 7-1 against the Newlanders, and then he is sitting at 1-1, 500, just like Boomer in this one. I think I know the way everyone's going to lean in this one. Can't say that I would do the same thing. I do think this might be tighter than we think, particularly last round. Ghost Roaster only edged Boomer by 10 votes. Wham-Shell similarly barely edged Dino-Rang, so this thing could come down to the wire. Again, that's why it's important you vote and tell your friends to vote. Very easily could decide the outcome of some of these. But I think this one will be pretty interesting again. I think it'll be kind of mid-pack. Don't think it'll be the tightest. Don't think it'll be the biggest blowout on the Castaway side. But should be very interesting nonetheless. Boomer versus Wham-Shell. That brings us now to some groundbreaking battles. I say that sarcastically because we've got some of the bottom dwellers here going at each other. And essentially, like I've said all along, something is going to have to give for some of these characters. Jet-Vac, Air Element Newlander, comes in with a mark 1-7 against the Castaways, sitting 0-2 against his fellow Newlanders. He's obviously not too happy about that. Similarly, also disappointed with his 0-2 mark against the Newlanders and 1-7 mark against the Castaways is Shroomboom. And yes, that means these two have identical records, 1-7, 0-2 if you will. Combined record 1-9, well below 500. Neither of them's very happy. The good news is they're squaring off now. You've got Air Element, Jet-Vac, Life Element, Shroom Boom. Something's got to give. Somebody's got to win. If these two somehow tie, which is very possible, I'll break it myself. That'll speed us along. But vote for your favorite. This is key because I know they both have low marks. Obviously didn't do well against the Castaways. Here in the Newlanders, some of them are going to make runs and kind of bump their records up. Hopefully, separate themselves from the stagnation. We'll see what happens. I'm honestly not sure what people are going to do here, since neither character has really done well ever in this thing. They've rarely had, massive votes. There's been a few close ones here and there. There have been few and far between, but I think I know what people will do, but it could honestly go either way. Our next matchup is the absolute... there's so many good ones always on the Castaways side, but in the Newlander side, this is the cream of the crop, the ultimate showdown, if you will. We have Hot Dog Newlander from the Fire Element. He comes in with a mark 6-2, top dog, literally top dog against the. That's funny at 5 in the morning, by the way. But top dog against the Castaways. He had the best mark, 6-2. Right behind him in second place with the obviously second best mark against the very tough Castaways, Pop Fizz, 5-3. Similarly, Pop Fizz comes in unblemished, undefeated, perfect mark against his fellow Newlanders. That means we have two 2-0 characters in this side of the bracket squaring off against each other. Something's got to give here as well. Man, again, this I'm going to go ahead and label this the marquee matchup. However, you also have to give a nod to Camo Warnado. Man, I think I know what people are going to do. And that said, I think it could be a little closer than people are thinking. But both of these are insanely popular. Obviously, they're the two best performing in this tournament. Makes it a little tough to call. That said, I feel like I can predict what everyone's going to vote for. Can't say I do the same. Again, you'll find out in the round 3 results. But nonetheless, this one's going to be an epic match. This is one you definitely want to vote in, definitely want to spread the word. If you're a Hot Dog fan, you're going to need help. If you're a Pop Fizz fan, you're going to need people to get out and help you push him over the top. So, very interested in this one. I'll go ahead and, like I said, call that the marquee matchup. I think it's going to be tight. Our next matchup, Undead Element Fright Rider. He's kind of like your middle of the pack guy. You've got like the really great performing Newlanders in this tournament, Pop Fizz, Hot Dog. Then you've got Fright Rider, and then you've kind of got everybody else. However, he comes in with a mark 3-5 against the Newlanders, which, pretty respectable. They're a tough group of 8. However, undefeated against his fellow Newlanders. Interesting thing here, the person kind of right behind him, and I say that just because she had so many close losses to the Castaways, is Flashwing. She comes in with a mark 1-7 against the Castaways, obviously, but just like Fright Rider, she is 2-0 undefeated against the Newlanders. This is going to make for a very interesting match. If we didn't have Pop Fizz Hot Dog, I'd probably label this one as a marquee for the Newlander side. Given the records, you'd have to think people are going to be more inclined to go Fright Rider. That said, that's kind of skewed because we're basing that off of their performances against the Castaways. Here in Newlander territory, both undefeated, performing very well. This is going to be a tough one for me even to decide. I like both of these pretty well. I'll have to think about it. Honestly, not sure what people are going to vote like on this one. I'll just sort of have to monitor it and keep tabs. Next up, this is perhaps one of the most intriguing matchups in the, round 3 here. We have Sprocket and Chill, two of the ladies on the Newlander side squaring off against one another. Sprocket comes in 1-7. She actually, I'm still kind of amazed by this, but in round 1 of the Castaways versus Newlanders, I remember this distinctly, you know, because I did element versus element, left it open a while, made it like the ultimate showdown setup, if you will. She beat Boomer. I did not expect that, and then after she did that, and I thought, man, I've got like the Sprocket faction here big time. She did nothing. She went 7 straight losses in the rest of the Castaways, which again, you have to realize those are some awesome characters. That said, here in Newlander territory, she is also winless, 0-2. That puts her at a 9-game skid. The good news for Sprocket, the only person that's currently performing at that level or worse is Chill, because she's got a 10-game skid, and that's because she's never won anything. Chill, obviously, in that case, went 0-8 against the Newlanders back there, or Castaways, I should say. Currently sitting 0-2 against her fellow Newlanders. I think I know what people are going to do. Again, I don't think I would do that. I'll reveal what I would do in round 3. That said, interesting matchup, and I think this one will be fairly tight. It's going to be a fun one to monitor. Really, none of these, I mean, they don't stick out to you like Camo, Warnado, or Dino-Rang, Ghost Roaster maybe. But in all honesty, all 4 of these Newlander matches I think are going to be pretty competitive. Looking at it right now, let me see here. What do I think will be the tightest overall? There's so many. I mean, this is honestly one. Man. Jet-Vac Shroom Boom, I'm going to say that one could be a little more lopsided than some of these others. This is going to be tight. I anticipate a lot of votes in Hot Dog Pop Fizz. Honestly, I could see this one going either way. I could see this one going either way. Due to kind of like the lack of data we've got on these two in terms of when they win, it could go either way. That said, if I had to pick one Newlander match that would have the biggest margin of victory, it would be one of these, unless there was just like a huge shocker over here. Jet-Vac Shroom Boom, that is. Tightest one? Man. Maybe Flashwing and Fright Rider could be a little tighter even than Pop Fizz and Hot Dog. I think this one's either going to be close or, a considerable victory, and it's too hard to predict. On the Newlander side, the Castaways side, I'm going to say Voodooed Sunburn will probably be our biggest margin of victory. Could be wrong there. That's just kind of what I'm anticipating. Man, the tightest on that side, I'm going to see... I'll just go Camo Warnado. Could be wrong there. This is probably the toughest set of 8 I've had to predict that. There's usually one that I know will be real competitive and at least 1 or 2 that I think are going to be a blowout. This one, in all honesty, the way the Newlanders stacked up, every match is super competitive. You've kind of got like your middle of the pack here with Flashwing and Fright Rider. Your bottom dwellers here, Jet-Vac, Shroom Boom, Chill, and Sprocket. And then your creme de la creme here with Hot Dog and Pop Fizz. So really all 4 of those turned out to be really good matches. Again, they don't maybe necessarily pop out at you and get your attention, but expect competitive matches this time around. Newlander side, kind of hard to predict how people are going to go on some of these. It really depends. Like, there's been times I felt like, man, we've got, the boomer people here, and then there's been times I feel like, wow, Wham-Shell's fans came out in force. Really, all of these, I think, except one battle, which I won't point out, I think will be pretty competitive and interesting across the board. So, I'm pretty excited about this. It's probably 5:20 or something in the morning. But I think this is going to be a good time. Again, my apologies. It's a week late. I am going to run this one 2 weeks, primarily just to kind of cover. I think I'll be too busy this coming weekend to get it cranked out. Plus, that gives everybody more time to vote. Currently, I plan to close this, I believe, Friday, August 3rd. First Friday in August, whatever date. It may be the 2nd. I'm not 100% sure, but first Friday in August, I think it's the 2nd or the 3rd. Basically, 9:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. I say that, but that basically translates to midnight. The blogger, I can never get the polls to adjust, so it's Pacific Standard. But basically, until midnight Central Standard Time Friday, you can cast your vote. That's like early Saturday morning, essentially. Again, right-hand side of the blog, oneofwisdom.com. Scroll down to the Twitter feed. Can't miss it. It'll be the long, narrow box. Then we'll start in again. You'll see Warnado versus Camo. Pick your favorite character in the match. Vote for him. Continue the process all the way down through the lady showdown there, Sprocket and Chill. But in all honesty, out of the 8 matches that we've got, this may be overall the most competitive. And I say that just because they all stack up very well. Where you've got some great powerful characters, they're matched up with another great powerful one. You've got bottom dwellers there with another bottom dweller. So basically what that means for you and me is things are going to be tight, really kind of unpredictable. And what that means in layman's terms is this one's going to be really fun. So this is Stage 2, Castaways Newlanders, Round 3. I think this is going to be a good one. Again, I'll give you until first Friday in August on this one. If that changes, I'll let you know. I'll just be extending it. I won't cut it shorter than that. But again, thanks to everybody that's voted and kept this going. Bottom line, want you to have fun. This is another outlet to enjoy Skylanders. By all means, YouTube, the blog, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, whatever you're on, feel free to comment. Let me know what you think. What you think the biggest blowout will be, what you think the tightest race will be, who you think has a chance to upset. Again, we've got 2 1-7s right here, and then we've 1-9s essentially, and then we've got a 1-9 and an 0-10 here. Again, marquee matchup overall, I'd have to give Pop Fizz and Hot Dog. Right behind them, Camo, Warnado. Not too far behind Dino-Rang and Ghost Roaster. But like I said, this is perhaps the most competitive set of 8 I've seen. So I think everyone will have fun. They should all be pretty tight unless I'm just, missing something somehow. But again, cast your vote. Tell your friends. Again, just last time we saw Warnado lose to Sunburn by 1 vote. Dino-Rang lost to Wham-Shell by 4. Literally every vote matters. If you're a huge Pop Fizz fan, you don't want to tune in next time and see that he lost, 60 to 59 and you didn't get to vote. So spread the word, tell your friends. Again, this one's going to be a lot of fun. Should be very competitive across the board. The blog is oneofwisdom.com. You can take the link at the top of the video description. It takes you right to the blog post, kind of walks you through. If you're new to it, you can relive the past battles. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Again, feel free to leave your comments. Make sure to subscribe. That way you'll be posted whenever we get round 3 results up. But again, shooting for Friday night, I think August 3rd. That's when this will close. If all goes well, I'll have the video results for round 3 up. I'll give you my personal take on who I would pick and why. And then we will open up round 4, which again, I think I've mapped out now somehow. So that said, again, this one's going to be fun. Can't wait to see how it pans out. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you back here for round 3 results.